Hey, what's up?
I feel great at 168. I don't want to fight with a scale. And after 13 months, you'll see what I can do.
You have won titles at 154 pounds.
168 might be a division.
At 160, a title at 175. Where does this rank becoming the unified champion at 168? Where does that rank among your best accomplishments?
No, es uno de mis mejores. Es uno de mis mejores triunfos. Obviamente, si entendí bien tu pregunta.
It's amazing. What's up, Michelle's daughter? This is an amazing feat tonight by Canelo. I got to tell you, man, I was blown away by the power. I thought, like, to myself,
You've got 2 pieces of the super middleweight championship around your waist. What do you want to do next?
Mi meta a corto plazo es unificar todos los títulos en las 168 libras. Y desde ahí vamos a ir por ahí.
Unified. I want all the belts. It doesn't matter who is there.
You say you want to unify super middleweight. Your longtime rival, Gennady Golovkin, won last night. You smile. I always have to bring this up. But do you believe there's a third fight with you and Golovkin in the future?
Mira, he probado que he peleado con los mejores y si se tiene que dar la pelea con Golovkin para que la gente disfrute una gran pelea, está bien. Pero nomás quiero dejar en claro que yo sí enfrento grandes retos. Subo las divisiones para ganar títulos con los mejores. Yo no estoy dándole la vuelta a los retos, ¿no? Estoy aquí para pelear con el mejor que esté ahí, porque quiero seguir siendo el mejor.
I don't run from nobody. I just show that I fought against the best. And of course, if he is gonna take place fight, I'll take it. But I show to the world that I fight against the best.
Was this the best performance of your career?
No, es uno de mis mejores sin duda, ¿no? Por lo que representa, es uno de los mejores.
All right.
He tenido grandes retos también y viene lo mejor.
Yeah, Canelo's talking right now, so that's why we're waiting.
A esta edad me siento un peleador más maduro, más asentado, más fuerte y creo que viene lo mejor para mí y para mi equipo.
I feel more mature, I feel better, and of course, he's one of the best, but not the best. I have a lot of chances during my career, but this is not the most complicated.
You wear that hat, 4-time champion. You are officially a 4-division world champion.
Yep.
You join a list of great Mexican fighters who have been 4-time world champions. What does that mean to you?
Me siento muy orgulloso de portar esto porque vengo de la nada como todos para hacer lo que soy. Estoy muy orgulloso, muy agradecido con mi equipo y vamos por más todavía.
I feel really proud to have this on my head. I came here to represent not only the boxing but my country, and we go for more.
Congratulations, Canelo.
Gracias a todos, que pasen feliz Navidad. Gracias por su apoyo y viene lo mejor.
Thanks everybody. Happy holidays, and let's see time to come.
Brian?
Chris, thank you so much. Hey, look, go fight Artur Beterbiev. Go ahead, look, come on.
All right, this is it. So let's get down to the fight. Caleb Smith came out and he did what he was supposed to do in the first round, but he made some mistakes that I saw early that Canelo would walk through him. He didn't get Canelo's respect. And in a fight like this, you're going to want to get Canelo's respect. He did not do that. What's up, Amano? Here's what went down. Okay? As this fight was breaking out and was starting to come around, you started to see some changes. Canelo was slipping punches from the offset, and it was his ring IQ is a lot better than probably 90% of these fighters in the ring today. Anybody who believed a Charlo would present, those guys would have been out in about 6-7 rounds. They couldn't take what Canelo would have brought to the table. Caleb Smith took a pounding. He fought well, but he made a lot of mistakes. Let's hear what he got to say.
It wasn't my night, a few little things. I said he was good tonight, fair play to him. So I have to take me in it. But again, no excuses. I think I may have outgrown the weight. I feel as dominant at 168 as I used to be, but there's no excuses. He is very good.
Why was this not your night?
I said I don't know, maybe. I said I may have outgrown the weight a little bit too long. I don't feel as dominant later on in fights, but again, I made weight okay. There's no excuses from me. He's a good fighter. I've lost to half star, but I don't know. I just think it could have been a better version of me tonight, but I said it is what it is. We turn up, I performed, he performed, and he was the best man tonight.
We've seen Canelo be aggressive, come forward against guys like Golovkin and Kovalev. He did that again. Why was it so difficult to keep him at bay?
He's just smart, to be honest with you. He's just clever. Close the ground up without throwing.
Yep.
He sets little traps and he keeps you thinking constantly, and before you know it, he's closed the ground up. If that's just good experience, and maybe let him close the ground at times a little bit too easy. But he's a good fighter. I've got to give him credit, but just a little bit disappointed with him. Was there anything about Canelo in the ring that maybe you underestimated, that maybe you didn't expect him to be quite so good at? His jab was good, to be honest with you, for the shorter guy. His jab was really good. His defense is good, but I can't do that. He's got good everybody rides a lot of the shots. It's very hard to nail clean. But no, I think he was exactly how I thought it'd be, to be honest with you. But say his jab surprised me a little bit.
You said it was tough to make 168. Does that mean a trip to 175 is now in your future?
Possibly. Listen, I need to go home, spend some time with family, enjoy Christmas. I miss my little girl, and just decide next year what's next for me. I'll be at the top of the mountain. I've been knocked off it. Now I need to decide what the next move is.
Okay.
Thank you. Ryan?
Chris, thank you so much. Let me, two major points here.
And let's get to the gist of what went down tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I am Carcino, in case you guys just got here. I will show you what went wrong tonight. The first thing is Canelo is 5'8". He's 5'8". He's a solid 5'8". I know I put my hand on him. It couldn't even budge him. He's like a big rock walking around. Solid one whatever he is. But he's 5'8" and solid as a rock. Now, plant will be planted in the ground in about 7 rounds. No. Here's what the scenario is, ladies and gentlemen, because I don't want anybody here to be thrown off or put on another planet or whatever. Listen, Canelo won because of his ring IQ. Period. He dominated. But the kind of gifts he has, there's opportunity for a skilled fighter to exploit. Now, you've seen other instances take place. Like you've seen, for instance, this is what Caleb Smith did wrong. First round, he's 6'3". Canelo's a solid 5'8". Oh, my God. And Caleb Smith tore his muscle in his arm. Gosh, he tore a bicep muscle. Gosh, that looked nasty. Oh, that looked nasty. Looked like he got a whole nother arm. Ooh, yeah, I think he tore that. Y'all want to see it? Look at his arm, man. That part is torn or pulled. Nasty, nasty, nasty. Ooh, man, that looked nasty. Yeah, that looked like a torn bicep. Oh, that is terrible. Oh, my goodness. Man. That's nasty looking. So, how did he tear it? Probably in the fight, throwing punches, trying to keep Canelo off. Or Canelo probably punched him in it and left. You know how somebody hits you in the arm, you get a Charlie horse, and it gets stuck. Maybe that's what it is, and they could probably ice that down. But I don't know. It looked like a torn muscle to me. So the first thing he did, the mistake that he made, was very simple. Here's the mistake that Caleb Smith made. Caleb Smith gave up his height. That was one. But the other thing that he did, because he was 6'3", is he kept his head on a line. He kept his head, he ducked and gave up his height and didn't move. Early on, he was doing that. He was moving and sticking, but he's going to burn himself out. If you're 6'3", be 6'3". I don't know what this guy is talking about on TV, talking about it's okay to give up your height. It's never okay to give up your height. Let that sink in. It is never okay to give up your height. This guy gave up his height. He fought his heart out. He did a lot better than his brother because of his height and distance. But no, Canelo's power and speed and boxing ability was enough to put him down. It was methodical. And it told a story that needed to be told. Canelo's skill set is second to none. Well, when he did that, you got to get Canelo's respect now. See, when you don't get the champion's respect, now you've set the tone for you to lose. You set that stage. Canelo walked through him for the rest of the night. What he needed to do was stand tall, keep that jab out, pop, 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 step to Canelo. He's stepping back all the time, trying to keep that distance. If you're going to do that, you got to stand tall, step up, poop, poop, tie him up, force Canelo to go back while you're coming forward. Don't forget to hit the like button coming through the door, good people. The thing is you got to change it up. You can't continuously do the same things over and over. Canelo Alvarez is too good. He's too good for you, and you had to figure that out after 2-3 rounds that he's somebody you've never faced before. Now, the issue is what a lot of people don't get is the fact that Canelo is different, and sometimes fighters don't change what they've been trained to do. It's like a program. Smith he had no plan B. He didn't know what a plan B was. This was what he did. Counterpunching is normally the way he fights. He catches a fighter with a counterpunch. With Canelo, he would catch him with a counterpunch. Then there's no follow-up because Canelo's not there for the rest of it. His upper body movement his ability to get close, because he's small, he knows the little tricks on how to edge closer to you to land his punches. When he fought Floyd Mayweather, was he ready? Absolutely not. He was not ready for Floyd Mayweather. He had no clue what was happening to him in the fight. Floyd was able to get him frustrated and make him come out of himself. That alone shows you the abilities of Floyd. It was not only landing punches, it was frustrating Canelo. Canelo was missing. He couldn't get his range. Floyd knew how to stop his momentum by tying him up. I always mention that people who know how to tie up are very skilled because they understand something that other people don't understand. They understand the importance of tying somebody's arms up. Errol Spence was at the fight today. Guess what he was talking about? Fighting Canelo at 168. No, at middleweight. He might go to 160 and fight Canelo. Canelo ain't going to fight you at 160 pounds. What are he going to do that for? He can make the same money, if not more, at 168. Errol once again dodged the question about Terrence Crawford, talking about he might fight Canelo. That's what I'm saying. I'm done. I'm done with Errol Spence until he fights him. No more of these made for Fox fights for Errol. When you fight somebody of stature, if you're not fighting Manny Pacquiao, if you're not fighting Terrence Crawford, I can care less. Don't come here. Don't come here about Errol. Errol is done to me. He's done. Until he fights somebody of stature, I'm not even worried about Errol. No more Danny Garcias. No more any of these PBC setup puppets. I want you to see some real welterweight fights. Don't give me no Mikey Garcia. Canelo walked him down because of the mistakes that Cullen was making. Once he felt Canelo's power and he realized this guy can hit harder than probably anybody that's ever hit me. So now I got to change the narrative. And the reason why Canelo was able to hit him so hard is because Canelo wouldn't waste punches. He threw when he had leverage. Meaning that when Caleb leans on the ropes and stops in front of him, that's when Canelo would punch. He wouldn't waste punches. He would let Caleb burn all his punches, throwing them little counter punches. He was catching all of those with the gloves. Canelo's reflexes are so good, he's just catching them with the gloves. And he's letting you burn yourself out, and he's not wasting punches. And then he'll only keep his hand out almost as a guide, or he'll pop a jab, pop, to get you in position. Once you're in position, pow! He's going to make the punch count. That's why one punch from Canelo is so much severe than about 30 of his little... He was tight, fighting tight. He wasn't loose. Caleb was trying to catch Canelo with a combination, something he don't see, and then follow it up with punches. And you're not going to beat Canelo that way. You're going to have to know when to come forward and when to be a fighter to come forward. Now, Demetrius Andrade would provide a difficult fight for Canelo because Andrade can box going backwards. This guy can only counterpunch going backwards. Andrade can box going backwards, and he can go from side to side, and is big enough where he could take the shots and come forward and deliver offense. Now, the question is he ready? Can he take what Canelo dishes out? That's going to be the difference. This guy tried everything in the book. Don't ever say that about him. He tried. He more than tried. He did. If he didn't want to try, he would have quit a long time ago. He could have quit out the round 9. He was trying. He tore a muscle in his arm. Did you see that? His arm is like out to here, man. It's disgusting looking. He tried. It just didn't work out in his favor. Johnny U. Spence has always been overrated. Always. It just took people a while to come to that realization. But he's always been overrated. You know, the accident, people, using that as a cover-up. And, I'm glad he's alive. Don't forget to hit the like button, good people. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. Pop, 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 pop. Well, Spence don't have a personality. I mean, not everybody is camera ready. I don't think nothing really wrong with his personality. I mean, he's low-key from Texas. They talk slow drawl and everything, but I don't think nothing wrong with his personality. I just think as a fighter, he's a bit overrated. But he's better than anything they got at PBC. That's the truth. Now, am I hating on they got at PBC, and I'm hating on him? Yeah, I've already pointed out his drinking problem. Matter of fact, I did it the day before his accident. I was like, Spence stays on the bottle. And I don't know if Spence being on the bottle was going to help him. I mean, he was on that sauce too much. Plus, I saw him get stained when he started out at 154, and they realized this dude can't fight at 154. You got to go to welterweight. These big boys here rock you. And then you talking about fighting Canelo at 160? Good night, Errol. Errol going to sleep. And it's going to be sad. If he fought Canelo will sleep him. Errol only knows how to do is come forward. As soon as he come forward with his so-called power, it's like, dude, this ain't Danny Garcia. He ain't no 140-pound dude. You come at Canelo with that, it's going to be like, pink, pink. Errol going to be, I'm feeling drowsy today. No, he ain't ready for Canelo. Why do you think the Charlos turned down the fight? Jamal Charlo was offered a fight to fight Canelo for more money, 2 times the money he's ever been paid in his entire career. He turned the fight down. Al Heyman, his representatives, turned the fight down. So he can never say that. And Canelo fought Danny Jacobs instead. So go ask them why they turned the fight down. I told you which one. I said Jamal. The one that's at 160. He could have fought Canelo on the zone. They paid him the money. They sent the contract over, everything. You did all that talking. And they sent you the fight offer and said, here's the fight. Here's what we paying you. And you turned it down. So I don't want to hear nothing about a Charlo no more. Nothing. Wasn't no contract issue. They didn't want the fight. They doing this. They don't want it. Canelo gave you your opportunity. So your boat came and went. Andrade versus Charlo. The Charlos don't want to fight Andrade because he'll beat both of them on the same night. So who do I want who to fight? What you talking about, Canelo? Well, after this destruction, the fight was going to go the way it was. You knew that after round 2. I said, well, Caleb's not going to change his style, so he's in defense mode, and he's more concerned about the incoming than dishing it out. And at that point, when the first time a fighter gets hit, he has to make a decision. Once he realizes this guy is powerful, how you deal with the power? Do you neutralize it? Come forward? Do you try to meet the power head on? How you think about dealing is probably how it's going to play out. So you might want to be a little bit more cautious about that. Now, the person I think he should fight, that I would like to see him fight, is Bitterbeeb. Bitterbeeb. I think that'll be an action-packed fight there. Yeah, Canelo versus. I don't want to see no Triple G. I don't want to see Triple G no more. They keep trying to sell this because the zone want to make that fight. You know, they like, oh, we could sell it. It's going to be a big fight. Triple G is washed. Canelo washed him 2 times already. I don't need to see it a 3rd time. What I want to see that for? I just watched the other Argentine almost make him quit. He beat him, actually, and got robbed because the zone don't want to have Triple G lose until he fight Canelo. It's like, what in the world are we doing here? Well, we got PBC Eddie in here. What's up, PBC Eddie? Where you at? What you say, PBC Eddie? Look at that. We got PBC Eddie in here. What do you say? Canelo always looking for an advantage. Man, who does this in boxing? 4-week notice. 4-week notice. Are you crazy? This fight was not a 4-week notice. You thought he was fighting Caleb Plant because they had it mixed up. It was Caleb Smith the whole time. It was never Caleb Plant. But if y'all want to see Caleb Plant, I'm with it. Y'all believe Caleb Plant is the new white Mayweather? Bring him on down the line. Put him in the ring with Canelo. I'll make more money. I lost money tonight because I bet on the knockout. But that's not really losing money. That's not. This was not losing money. I was hoping we get a home run ball. I almost got it, though. Almost got it. After that 9th round, I'm like, they finna call it. Call Bob Arum. I would if it wasn't. It's 10 o'clock where he at, but still, I wouldn't call him this late. I should have called Paulie Malignaggi. Well, he beat their whole family. He just keep whooping on the Smith family. They beat Liam. Now he beat the big brother. The baby brother got beat. The big brother got beat. Canelo's done with middleweight. Just take Canelo out of the middleweight picture. Just take him out. Canelo's not going to middleweight no more. That's done. Thank you, Young Tone. Young Tone, ladies and gentlemen. That man loves boxing more than anybody I know. He will find my video for boxing. I won't see him none through the year. But if I talk boxing, here come Young Toe, baby. He was like, facts. Beterbiev is the best fight for Canelo. That's where Canelo might be challenged to where I think he'll get the knockout over Beterbiev, though. That fight will be an action-packed fight, and he gonna really have to think with Beterbiev because that first 3 rounds, explosive. Them first 3 rounds gonna be explosive. I guarantee you that. Billy Joe Saunders has the style. He has the style, but I think he's too big for. I don't know. I think Billy Joe Sanders is what 175 to me. Like at 168 is the max for Canelo. He should not fight at 175. He said, "I've been trying to ask you why everybody waiting on Aaron for the Crawford fight. Can't they all buy the fight? They can make the fight happen. It's like this. Yeah, Manny Pacquiao already had an agreement to fight Terrence Crawford before the Kell Brook fight. The only thing that interfered with that fight was the COVID, and it was going to be in like Saudi Arabia, in one of those countries." I interviewed Bob Arum like too long ago, and we talked about the Terrence Crawford issue, everything here on the channel. And another thing he brought up was the fact that that fight was already agreed upon. The money was agreed upon. Everything was agreed upon. Now what you having is Errol Spence is trying to come in and try to get Manny to not do that fight. And they want to try to make an Errol Spence Manny Pacquiao fight. They want to try to steal the fight from Terrence Crawford. But they don't want to fight Terrence Crawford. That I know for sure. They want to try to wait it out to Terrence leave Bob Arum so that they can keep all the money in-house in PBC. PBC is only concerned about PBC. That's it. Now, what I do know is Bud is smart. And he is not dumb enough to go into a championship fight as an independent fighting the PBC's big top draw, which is Errol Spence. Hell no. You better have your own back and protection. So Top Rank is your dogs and your protection. I ain't going nowhere without them into a PBC fight with PBC judges. You're going to have to knock Errol through the ring. I've seen them knock people down and they don't call it in PBC. I'm like, man, Sean Porter got knocked down. So slipped. He slipped on his fist. I know, that's what we said. Beterbiev. Beterbiev. I'm like, man, I would have been saying his name so long. That's why I said Beterbiev. That's the fight. But Beterbiev. Beterbiev. Put them in there. Those are some big boys. Those are some big, strong boys. And that's going to make a big and a better fight for the crowd, for the people. And that's everything. Bivol, to me, he'll beat Bivol. Beterbiev is tough, but Bivol is a good one too. Oof. Drop him. Oh! That's the punch I'm going to use on LeBron. If we ever get in the ring, it'll look like this. I'll be Canelo. This dude will be LeBron. LeBron will give up that height, and I'm going to hit him with that punch. It'll be a right hook. I'm going to set it up. Gone. He'll be gone. He'll never see it. It's short. All my weight is on it. And he gonna go, either he gonna drop instantly or try to jump back and the leg's gonna be wobbled. By that time, I'm coming with the combination. Pop, 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 pop. Straight down the middle, and he's out. He said, Brian box. Oh, we gonna do a celebrity boxing match. One for charity. I'm still holding out for that. He said, if you hit LeBron, he gonna flop. I ain't gonna try to knock him off. If I hurt him, I'm probably trying to. I don't want the fight to end. I'm gonna just jab a little bit, keep him on his feet. I mean, stay up, man. Stay up. I want to hit you some more. I want to hit you some more. I got the most air knockouts in history. Boom! Look, there's another one. Woo! You don't hurt your hands that way. Air knockouts. Oh. Yeah, I tried to get Fat Boy in the ring. Academics, he's scared. Height advantage. We just talked about that. Bear must got in late. This guy was 6'3". The 5'8" guy just beat the living hell out of him. Hit the like button. That's right. Air knockouts, baby. Pop. Oh, the air stumbled. Bang! There you go. Look at that. Another air knockout. I'm 5'11". I don't know why people, when they see me in person and they see me on YouTube, they think I'm like 5'6", 5'7". And then when they see me in person, they go, man, you tall, man, you kind of tall. I'm like, I'm 5'11", dude. Like, you 5'8". What are you? I'm like, you the one 5'8". Guy saw me and thought, like, man, dude, you a giant. I'm like, no, dog, I'm 5'11". You just 5'8". Look at Bear. I'm 6'1", towering over people. I'm a bear. His legacy, he just won four championships in 4 divisions. What more legacy do we need? His legacy is cemented already. He was the true middleweight champion, period. After Floyd, Canelo was it. Somebody want to be the best, they got to beat Canelo. Canelo got to fall. So until then, Canelo is still sitting on that mountain. I ain't seen nobody to touch him yet. Cena versus Logan Paul? Paul, set that up. Floyd got to give him the work, though. Floyd going to get all that money off of him. Oh, now they talking to Demetrius Andrade. And Andrade does it better. Demetrius Andrade. Oh my God, I still can't get over dude's arm, man. Yeah, that's like a tricep muscle injury. Whew. Feel a little bad for him. All right, let's see what Andrade got.
Miguel Cotto.
a champion.
Okay, but how old was these guys? And they was out there. I know. I'm just saying there's something that he fought real guys at the.
Past his prime, Sergey Kovalev, but Golovkin was a monster at that time when he beat them.
All credit to Canelo.
Class of fighter.
Yeah, he looked great. You know, he established the jab early on, started throwing shots to the body and showed and got his respect.
Andrade finna go off.
He really outclassed him today.
There's so much to talk about Canelo and how masterful that was, but I also want to ask you about Callum Smith because you were just up close and personal with him. He's obviously struggling with the arm. What could you see? What could you tell?
Yeah, Callum didn't want to make an excuse in that moment. I give him credit for it, but you could see the redness on that arm. And Eddie Hearn told me after I did the interview that he believes Callum detached his bicep at some point during the fight. Now, Eddie made it clear it probably didn't matter. Canelo Alvarez won this fight going away. He was masterful in this performance, but something tells me the next couple of days you'll hear about Callum Smith being on the shelf for a little while.
I mean, one of the questions that we heard Chris ask Canelo in the ring after the fight was the fact that he's been unified champion at 160, he's now unified champ at 168. You asked him where that ranks. Where does it rank for you, this achievement tonight?
I mean, listen, he's doing things. 4-time world champion. I mean, he's a pound for pound guy. There's no better way and better title to put it at. You know,
is he the guy at pound for pound now?
He's they already established that. I'm not going to say he is like the pound for pound guy yet because he hasn't fought all the top guys yet, like myself. Caleb Plant is out there. I'm always going to play. Like, let's go, Canelo. I'm not going to sit there and go to the ropes and not throw punches. I'm going to fight Canelo all day. You know what I'm saying? It's a different fight. But he needs to get in there with, you know, the rest of the super middleweight division.
Okay, respectfully, yes. I'd like to see him fight you, no question. But he is unquestionably the #1 pound-for-pound guy in boxing right now. He has the best resume of anybody in boxing right now.
They did a great job with him.
Who did?
Golden Boy promotion.
Are you kidding me?
They did a great job with moving Canelo. Yes,
moving him implies, Demetrius, that you're just being given gimme fights. Arislani Lara was not a gimme fight.
No, I'm not saying
twice was not a gimme.
I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying. But he has had a lot of gimme fights too, though. But of course, you got to fight somebody sooner or later, and he's fighting these guys at the right time.
He's fighting.
Laura has. What is Laura?
Arislani Lara at that point was arguably the best guy at 154. Right?
That's true.
He's on promotional cup. You say Golden Boy moved him. None of those guys wanted to fight Arislani Lara. They wanted nothing to do with that. He moves up. Yes, then he cherry-picked a belt at 175, fighting a past his prime Sergey Kovalev. But Golovkin was a monster at that time when he beat them.
All credit to Canelo for fighting Triple G. I'm not saying that, none of that. Like I just said, you have to fight somebody eventually, and he did that. And yes, he is the pound-for-pound guy. But there's other guys out there, too, that has great talent that's not going to sit there and just, like, go on the ropes all night. No, there's no guys doing that.
What Demetrius is saying, it's so close to the top. The guys that we're talking about who are in the mix of pound for pound, it's interchangeable, fight per fight basis.
Do you think, though, like, I don't think it's interchangeable at all. Lomachenko lost. He was the guy that I thought maybe he was interchangeable with. All respect to Terence Crawford, he doesn't have anywhere close to the resume that Canelo Alvarez has. This guy is the best, and there's a gap. There's a real gap between him and #2.
Yes, Canelo has fought good fighters. His resume is well. We all know that. We're not sitting here knocking it. We're just saying there's other guys out there.
You just did not.
No, I know. I'm just saying there's something that he fought real guys at their prime, and he fought guys.
Hit the like button.
He was like 20.
Miguel Cotto.
Cotto was a champion.
Okay, but how old was these guys? And they was on their way out. Come on, man, stop.
I can't believe I'm arguing with Demetrius Andrew. I love Demetrius Andrew.
I'm
like this guy's biggest supporter, and I'm arguing with him right now.
I mean, the thing that always stands out about Canelo is the fact that we've heard Oscar De La Hoya in the past, right? That Canelo always fought the guys that Oscar told him not to fight. He went and fought Larry.
Ricky Hatton's younger brother or something like that.
You are talking about fighters that he fought well before he was a world champion. When he became a world champion, yes, he had some gimmies. He takes on an Amir Khan.
Trout, he is a good fighter, but he is not the best.
He was one of the best at 154.
I'm one of the best at 154, so why didn't I ever get the Canelo fight?
You're kind of light heavyweight now. I don't know what's going on with this over here.
Right. Okay, good, but all I'm saying is, Canelo is the man. He's doing a great job. It's other people's time to make it happen.
That we can all sign up to.
All right. He doing a lot of talking, ain't he? He doing a lot of talking. But is you ready to do the walking? That's the thing. This Andrade is about 30-some years old now. Who does Andrade beat in his career? The people he talking about, he ain't beat none of the legends. He ain't beat no one, even in his own division, his own weight class, the Charlos, anybody. He has the best skill set. I'll give him that. But did he fight Danny Jacobs? So before you calling out Canelo, who's sitting on top of the mountain, you got to beat somebody, brother. I'm sorry. Nobody really knows you. You're this myth that comes around. Everybody says you're good, but who have you beat? So before you talk about who Canelo's fault, that is the most oxymoron statement I've ever heard from that guy. And I like him as a fighter. His biggest win is Vanes Monsterosen. When he beat Vanes, Vanes dropped him in like the first round. Vanes Monsterosen is his biggest fight. That was about 12 years ago. How can I knock Andrade when people don't want to fight Andrade? That was not the case. Even the Charlo brothers were scheduled to fight him. He pulled out the fight with Jermell Charlo. He was scheduled to fight on the fight card, and he said, I never signed and agreed to fight him. And they were already putting him in the promotions, and he said no. He went and joined Rock Nation Sports. He got a new agency, fired his managers, went to Rock Nation. I don't even think he ever had a fight for Rock Nations. Stayed there. They paid him checks. They didn't know what to do with him. They just signed him because they didn't know what they were doing. They screwed that all up, and he didn't fight. He sat on another shelf for another year or whatever. Now he's out of that contract. Now he's with the Zone. And everybody's like, well, when are you going to fight somebody important? He screwed up about 3-4 years because of his business. So it wasn't that people didn't want to fight him. They couldn't get him a fight. They're like, dude, we fighting a guy we basically don't know. Nobody knows because he screws up with the management part of his career. They still mismanaging him. Then this idiot want to ride around with bulletproof vests and guns on and keep getting arrested. So who are we to blame? Sometimes you got to blame the person. Just saying. He was given a shot. He had the fight. He said, I don't want to go fight them. They're a Golden Boy. I'm not Golden Boy Al Heyman. You know, I'm fighting an Al Heyman fighter on an Al Heyman card. I know what they're going to do to me. So he didn't fight. He was scheduled to fight Jermell Charlo. He took himself off the card, and he wiped himself out of history. For like 2 years, he didn't fight anybody. He had fight offers. He turned them down. Same thing with Gary Russell Jr. Gary Russell Jr.'s father runs his career. Do you know Gary Russell Jr. is not really Gary Russell Jr.? All of his brothers are named Gary Russell. Just like George Foreman named all his sons, the dad was really influenced with that and named all his sons Gary after him. Gary Russell 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So the Gary Russell that we know that's fighting now, the one of you we all talking about, his father runs his career. They turned down fights. He came up with Adrian Broner. They were marketing those two guys together. In a combo package, they would fight on the same cards. You have Broner, and leading off would be Gary Russell. Gary was the better boxer of the two, and they will always have another match for him, and he'll end up, I don't want to be on Adrian Broner's card. You know, I move on my own, and I want the Gary Russell card, and I want to do this. We don't want that fight right now. Right now, we just going to keep taking these little fights and get these little money and stack our money up. Then we're going to go for the big fight. And And they were like, Al Haymon looking like, whoa. I set this up, follow my lead. They moved to the beat of their own drum. They wanted to go for Lomachenko. Al told them, don't take the fight. They left and went and did it anyway, because he's just an advisor. So he advised them not to take it. They went and took the Lomachenko fight, and Lomachenko beat the living hell out of him. Now, since he got whooped by Lomachenko, and he came back advising them for the fights, they really don't even care about Gary Russell. No, Gary Russell is a bully. They were making him like a nice guy when he came into boxing. He was all, but now you see him on internet, that's the Gary Russell that everybody else knew from the amateurs. He was a bully. He used to bully all the fighters, everything. They hated Gary Russell Jr. But see, now you're seeing his real personality. This is who he really is. Before, you wasn't getting the real, you was getting the PBC version of Gary Russell. Trying to tell you, we know this boxing game, baby. We know these people. Nope, can't take nothing away from Canelo. He fought a great fight tonight. He fought the other guy was the champion. What are you talking about? I mean, just because you don't know the guy don't mean he is a nobody. The guy is a champion at 168. Legitimately was the champion. He knocked out George Groves, the whole nine. He's the champion. I'm not going to say he's pound for pound the best in the world, but is Caleb Plant really that great? No, he surprised me when he won the belt. But he survived against the Colombian kid. Now, if Caleb Plant wants to fight, the white Floyd Mayweather, who everybody liked, put him in the ring, Minnesota. Chris Carlson, I'm sorry. I know. From Rope It Up Radio. Did you just say Gary Russell Jr. got jobbed in the Lomachenko fight? Okay, PBC Eddie, you just lost your credibility. I thought you was a PBC fan. Now I see you work for PBC. He got jobbed against Lomachenko. Dude, if that dude won more than one round, he know he lost the fight. He started talking about he felt like he was poisoned. He didn't feel sharp. Something happened to him. He had every excuse in the book. So he know he lost the fight. He ain't questioning if he won or lost. He was getting beat so bad. In that fight, Lomachenko was here. He was what? How's he hit me? Ding, 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 ding. If you don't believe me, I'm quite sure. I'm quite sure that it is on YouTube. You don't have to believe me. Watch the Gary Russell Lomachenko fight for yourself. Ooh, David Benavidez. That would be an interesting fight. That would be a very interesting fight. I don't think we quite there yet, but that's an interesting fight. But instead of Canelo fighting all these guys need to fight each other. See, that's what's missing. Everybody want to fight the top guy and talking about what the top guy ain't doing. What about what you were doing? What about y'all fighting somebody to earn the spot, to make the people say, man, you gotta fight him now? That's what's missing. Everybody going, man, he called him out on social media. So on social media right now, be like, look, I called LeBron out to fight me in an exhibition match. Tank ain't fighting no Gary Russell Jr. Tank is not fighting Gary Russell Jr. Like last night, Triple G just fought a trash can. He fought the Polish guy, Sermenta, who was totally outmatched. Nobody is saying, man, Triple G, what you doing fighting this guy? Why don't you fight somebody? You see what I'm saying? Everybody talking about who Canelo need to be fighting. Who Triple G need to be fighting? Nobody said nothing about him. Why don't Triple G fight Andrade? And let that way Andrade on his resume, if he beat Triple G, to say, hey, give me the fight. That's why I can't take these new fighters serious. They not doing anything. It's like, dog, you gotta, if you the man and you who you say you are, prove it. No, that stuff he had in his system is gone. That's what happened. That's right, triple cheese. Coming in there looking like triple cheese. Getting all fat. Then getting all juiced up for the fights. Breaking people eye sockets. And breaking people ribs. Then when they put that test and slap that test on them, well, you got to take that doggone blood test. All of a sudden, it's weak noodles. Noodle time. And the fighters he beat, I know because I interviewed him. And he said, I want to know, watching the Canelo fight, they looking at him and they saying, I'm seeing him hit Canelo. And I'm saying to myself, where is the guy that broke my rib? I don't see that guy in there. Where is he? That guy broke my rib. He's like, and he's like, the damage he did to my ribs. I said, this is the hardest hitting guy I've ever been in the ring with in my life. That's how hard he hit, even to the body. He said, even the punches that don't really hit you, he's like, this dude was just too freakishly strong. I was like, no one's going to beat this guy. He's like, I hit this guy and got hit and was knocked out. So he's like, I'm telling you, seeing this guy now, he's a mirror image of what he was just a few years earlier. So he's like, I'm not going to say he did anything because I don't know, but I've never seen a drop off that fast. So I'm just telling you, that's what a fighter told me who've been in the ring with him. You probably want to know what fighter it was. It was Mac the Knife. Oh, he didn't declined already. He ain't declining. He's our Triple G is declined. That's why they put him in a fight that they felt he could win. Because they put him in there with Dervinchenko, and Dervinchenko gave him the business. But if Charlo want to fight Triple G, that's a good fight for him. Fight Triple G. At least you fighting somebody. You got a name on your belt. I mean, Jamal fought Dervinchenko. He's been at middleweight for about 5 years and has fought nobody. Jamal Charlo has fought diddly squat at middleweight. Why ain't nobody calling him out? Ain't nobody in boxing better not tell me anything about Jamal Charlo at middleweight. His name shouldn't even be mentioned. He's a myth. He's already said he's not fighting Charlo. Well, then at that point, then it's like, well, okay, if you're not fighting Charlo, then he must gonna fight at 68. And he ain't gonna fight at middleweight no more. Then bet. You fight at 68, you're not gonna fight no more at any other weight class, that's fine. But I saw this guy fight Canelo twice and get his face pounded in, and people trying to say he won. I'm like, he won? Have you seen his face? The first fight he lost, Canelo made it close because he did what he didn't have to do. The second fight, he realized I don't even have to move. The first fight, he's like, let me, this guy got power. Let me move around, give him some movement and box him. And he's boxing Triple G like brains out. Next thing you know, he realized in that fight, I'm like, the second fight won't be the same. He gonna beat him even worse. And it was even worse. But it gave Triple G moments in the fight. Because instead of trying to find Canelo was right in front of him. So he was gonna have some rounds he won. Because Canelo really was resting. All the rounds Triple G won in the second fight was the rounds Canelo was resting in. And he turned it up in the end and closed out the last 3 rounds of the fight. And people were still trying to, he had to come back to win. I'm like, no, he was saving it to go the distance. In case he got to go he was trying to get him up out of there. Roy Jones was the only one calling this fight the way it was. Roy was like, see, they said he wasn't going to come do what he did. See, they didn't train for Canelo to come forward. See, they said that the guy was going to run for him like he did the first fight. So Canelo said, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to fight you. And that changed the mentality because Triple G don't seem like he ready for that. He ain't trained for a Canelo that was going to come forward. So in my mind, Canelo's already won the fight. So Roy was already convinced Canelo won from round 1. Roy had me cracking up. Roy was acting like he had butt. Lampley could disagree 100%. Because, Lampley's just a company man, so he going to say whatever the program manager and everybody else told to say. Well, I strongly disagree, Roy. I think Triple G is still in the fight. I mean, Canelo is having moments, but look, bang, there it is. Bang, 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 there it is. 3 bangs. No, he's still around. I'm thinking Triple G is doing a lot of things here that you guys are not seeing. Nope, we ain't seeing it because, like I told you before the fight, Canelo said he was going to come forward and be the aggressor. Now he is being the aggressor, and Triple G is the one moving back. Now, see, this has changed the mentality into the fight. Triple G wasn't prepared to do that. He wasn't prepared to fight going back. He always go forward. Now, Triple G the one going back. Look at that. See, that's because of that body attack by Canelo, and that Canelo has changed the momentum of the fight. He ain't prepared for this. He lost. We in round 2, Roy. Yeah, but it's over. And Canelo gonna try to get him up out of there. Watch what I tell you. Man, you said Floyd said he felt tired in the second round before. Oh, Canelo impression? Oh, that's when I realized I met Canelo. You know that. So And when I met Canelo, and he speaks English and he understands English. He doesn't like to speak it because he thinks most people who from Mexico, when they speak Spanish, they've been speaking Spanish the majority of their life. And when they in America, they don't want to speak English to somebody that speaks English because they think they sound dumb and they don't want people to look at them as like they're dumb. I'm like, dude, it's not your language. You don't speak English. We know you speak Spanish your whole life. We ain't gonna do. They think when they saying English, even though they saying it right, it sounds dumb. So he don't want to speak English. So he'll just but he understands what you're saying. So yeah. So Canelo came over there. Well, he's been taking English classes over in San Diego. Oh, he knows English. Like he knows all the cuss words. Canelo be cussing up a storm. Hey, Chipo, see that shit? I'd be like, what? Canelo just cursed. I was born ready. Yeah, it's like everybody else. Everybody pick up the bad words first. No, Manny talk entirely different. Manny talk in one tone, constant. And then you see the fight, the way I fight my fight is different. I pray that everyone is okay and that everybody back in the Philippines they like my fight. And I want to fight the best fight around in like Floyd or anybody else. And I have fun and I'm glad that everybody is okay. So Manny speaks entirely different. Like I tell you, he speaks on like a one tone octave. It's like he's speaking while he's breathing. And it's like the words are like spilling out of his mouth. But I'm impressed with Manny Pacquiao more than anybody because he's somebody who had no school education whatsoever. His education came from the streets. And this guy could speak like 4 or 5 different languages. How do you feel that? How do you think English is easier for Filipinos to learn than Mexicans? That is very weird and different. Mexico is attached to the United States. There's more English. Believe me, you probably haven't been to Mexico at all. You think, oh, they learn it in school. They learn it, well, Mexico. Well, okay, if that's the case, then yeah. That's because in the war of in the 1900s, the war with the United States, they lost. See what the Philippines used to do is that's why the majority of you are Catholic. You forgot the holy war that took place with the United States and the Philippines. What happened is we went to assist the Philippines in the war. Philippines lost a lot of soldiers. And we won the war. Well, the Philippines won with the help of the United States. Both were friends, everything. The United States saw how badly weakened the Philippines were after that battle and decided we're taking over. They were like, what? You guys are weak. I know we're friends and all, but we're going to war against you. What? You guys are supposed to be our friends. So these guys weren't even military who was fighting. Everybody who was a citizen in the Philippines had to fight the United States. They probably don't teach you this in class. So the Philippines was fighting a holy war because this is what Roger Mayweather said in that very infamous interview where he's talking about Manny Pacquiao. Remember when those Philippine soldiers was fighting the United States and the bullets was bouncing off of them? They had that what do you call that? AMF. They was what they would do is snort methamphetamines, get jacked up, and run in, and they were getting hit with bullets, boom, boom, and they were still coming. Ah! That's what Roger Mayweather was talking about. Them Filipinos, the A-side meth. That's what he called it. And that's what that mother ucker is on. When you talk about Manny Pacquiao, it's an A-side meth. You seen what happened to them Philippine soldiers and the bullets was bouncing off of them? Man, Roger Mayweather, man. Rest his soul. That was the funniest interview ever. It's the first thing I ever posted on my page. That's how much I love it. It was the first thing I posted on my Patreon. It's the A-side meth. You said that was Japan. No, that was the Philippines, brother. You can the United States and the Philippines. You can Google it probably. It's probably there and you guys never seen it in your lives. You don't remember the United States war with the Philippines? The United States won the war, and at the end of the day, do you know what happened in that war? Your religion was gone. Some of you guys kept your religions and fled to the mountains because you didn't want to relinquish your religion. But why would they win the war and force religion on you? You guys had to become Catholic. That was forced upon you. You didn't have a choice. Catholic. It was the Holy War. Same thing happened in Puerto Rico. Same thing happened in Mexico. The Catholic religion was pushed through war, the Holy Crusades. Why do you think all of you guys are devoted Catholics now? Why do you think Mexico is so Catholic? That's our religion. No, it isn't. They buried your religion and gave you a new one. Not going to teach you this in school. Ask your teachers why they ain't teaching you this. Now, if you can look it up, I guarantee you'll find it. Like I said, I've had the luxury of being educated well beyond school to the point where I stumped my teachers. I love to hit them with information. and I want to get answers. And not because I want to stump them, it's because I want the answers. I want the truth. I'm somebody who want to know. It got to make some sense to me. So when my college professor, I hate to even call him a professor, but he's been licensed as a professor. He's sitting there teaching us in college about evolution. He said in about 100 years, we won't need our pinky toe no more because the human body will evolve. And what are the things that we don't really use that's just there on our bodies that is not really needed for anymore? And they probably eventually go away due to evolution. Our pinky toe. I'm like, hold on. I have a question. I have a question. I have a very big question for you. I'm looking at your chart from the ape doing the walk and then he turns into a white man. I'm looking at this chart and science has come a long way. But I don't need science. My eyes don't lie. Have a man ever slept with a monkey and could they make a child? If a man decided to sleep with a female ape, could he make a baby? No. Wouldn't work. A lion and a tiger, they're both cats. If a lion decides he wants to sleep with a female tiger, can they have children? No. They can't. So are you saying, man, well, why don't you see that? You don't see no mixture of a lion and a tiger running around unless they did it in a lab. But even if they did it in a lab, that spawn cannot reproduce. Lions and tigers can't breed. Go back to school. They cannot breed. They had to engineer one called a liger. Right, exactly, Nick. We had this conversation before. There are two different species. Man and ape are two different species. So if they're two different species, they cannot breed. Yes, they did another one of those experiments that they do just for stupidity and fun. They made an animal called a liger, a tiger and a lion mixed together, cloned. But it cannot spawn any children. They mixed a cat and a rabbit together, called it a cabbit. And I don't like when they do that. You're messing with the genetics of things that shouldn't be tampered with. The cabbit, its tail in the back, it had like a rabbit tail, legs, but it folded up in the back like a rabbit. It was just nasty looking. And it was something that should never exist. These are the things you need to be paying attention to because they're doing these experiments for a reason. Yeah, a cabbit. I've seen it. Dude, I tell you, I don't forget none of this stuff. This is what's going on in the world. While everybody's fooling you with distractions, they doing all this stuff. So as I explained to this man that we're two different species and that we can't reproduce, he's saying, He's like, no. You got to understand, once the evolution happened, now the other apes, they have to evolve. Then we'll be able to reproduce with them. I said, well, the apes and us are entirely different. And he's like, only by one chromosome. I'm like, so if one chromosome separates us, according to your logic, there's only one chromosome that separates us from being able to speak, to being able to do everything else. We're not hanging upside down in trees. We're not going there eating fruits with our feet. We're not doing that type of behavior, no matter how many Tarzan movies you make. Tarzan would have been ripped apart by one of them apes as soon as he got out of line. But I'm going to tell you right now, y'all want to make a movie with this white man going in there controlling the apes and all the jungles and all the black people in there. Screaming and hollering, oh, the apes gonna honor that. Apes would have been smack, and then he would have went 500 yards in the air, and that'd have been the end of this Tarzan and Jane if she'd have got out of line. She'd have got it too. Listen, don't let the movies fool you. Men and apes are different, period. Don't matter what color person it is, white person, black person, Mexican, Asian, whatever, they're different chromosomes. They're not from the same species. Anybody teaching evolution when it comes to humans and different species and saying we're going to be a whole different species and evolve to another species is a complete moron. Let that sink in. Not by science, not by logic, not by anything on this planet to even tell you that is a definite lie. It's period. That's like saying Santa Claus. You know, sorry if y'all still believing in Santa, but that's like saying Santa Claus is coming. Like, shut up, Santa's coming. He's like, you have no chimney, dog. How's he getting in here? He gonna get away. He gonna find a way to get in here. Shh, it's a reindeer. You might as well do that if you believe in an evolution. He said, even if you had a chimney, right? Even if you had a chimney, no 300-pound man for the slide down of it, and don't get no doggone, get no grease and stuff caught on his coat. I remember this one poor guy who tried to surprise his kid for Christmas and slide down a doggone chimney in a Christmas suit, got stuck, and died. He got carbon dioxide poison and everything, being stuck in that chimney. He wanted to surprise his family for Thanksgiving. Sorry about that, poor man. Oh, matter of fact, I don't think he was trying to surprise. I think he was robbing the place and got stuck. Yeah, man, I gotta go. It was so many years ago because I remember them getting a stick and stuff. They were sticking it up the chimney trying to stab him. They were trying to stab him and he was stuck. They were going to work on it. So when it was all said and done, don't forget to hit the like button, good people. And the Cash App is Carcino if you want to donate to the page and like what you're hearing. We appreciate it. Actually, Santa Claus, the very first Santa Claus was called Krampus. That is true. You know, there's a movie called Krampus. Krampus was evil. He was there to bring torment on Christmas and everything. And somehow they spun the story of Krampus around and made him give gifts and be lovable and turned him into Santa. His last name is supposed to be Claus. Santa Claus. But he became Claus, and that's the name of it. Santa Claus. It's Klaus, but that's that. Now, as we go back to boxing, what's next? Ryan Garcia's next fight is up on January 7th against Luke Campbell. Luke Campbell would be the toughest fight he's ever had so far. He should win the fight, but Luke Campbell should be able to get him past one round.
That Canelo always fought the guys that Oscar told him not to fight. He went and fought Larry. He went.
Ricky Hatton's younger brother or something like that.
You are talking about fighters that he fought well before he was a world champion. When he became a world champion, yes, he had some gimmies. He takes on an Amir Khan.
Trout, he is a good fighter, but he is not the best.
He was one of the best at 154.
I'm one of the best at 154, so why didn't I ever get the Canelo fight?
You're kind of
You kind of lost. You're lost in the sauce, bro. Who should Canelo fight next? That was Boo Boo Andrade going off calling out Canelo. And he got a long way to go, I think, before he fights Canelo.
Difficult fight, but it wasn't power. It was foot speed. It was ring generalship, and it was defense. So right now, you want to see him fight the very next best? Now I'm convinced that's Caleb.
Yeah. Big bone. I'd love to see that he's made. You know, has the skies and wall wants to unify. Look at the body attack.
Man, brutal. So they convinced that Caleb Plant is that guy now. And I like it. Canelo paying the respects, saying you beat me up like you beat my brother up, so now you get my respect. That's what it's all about. Two fighters. This guy was 6'3", Canelo is 5'8". And he walked through him. He walked through him, ladies and gentlemen. Walked through him. Canelo Alvarez has always been a guy who has adjusted to people's styles and made adjustments. He see what they bring to the table, and they step up and then make an adjustment himself. Caleb Plant will not be able to sustain the power of Canelo Alvarez right along with the athleticism. Caleb Plant is good with defense and offense, but he only can last about 6 rounds. Caleb Plant is a 6-7 round fighter. He won't survive with Canelo Alvarez that long. Caleb Plant has never fought anybody who attacks the body like Canelo Alvarez. He fought a lot of headhunters. Canelo is not a headhunter. He will hurt Caleb Plant. That fight will be a knockout. And it will happen in about round 7 if that fight is ever made. Saul Canelo Alvarez is different. I've tried to tell people that for many years. He is different. David Benavidez and Caleb Plant actually need to fight each other. They need to finish that. PBC needs to finish that. Because the winner was supposed to, what's his name from Flint, Michigan, Anthony Durrell, was supposed to fight Caleb Plant. If he beat David Benavidez, he didn't. So now David's the champion, and he has to go and represent for the division. And Caleb Plant's supposed to be next. So while they calling Canelo out, they need to fight each other first. So if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to the page. That's very important. Subscribe and hit that notification bell so that when we go live, we also do a StreamYard. So that means you can come in and talk boxing if you want. We're going to talk other sports. Manchester United, though, all day. Let's just put that out there. For all my UK fans out there, Caleb Plant will lose to Benavidez. You're right. But that'll be a tough fight because David Benavidez is tough and he has speed. Because what happens is, what people really don't know is the Benavidez family, their father is a 3rd degree, 4th degree black belt martial artist in Taekwondo and a couple of other martial arts skills. His father's very deadly, and he trained his sons to be martial artists. So at young age, they were having and developing their twitch muscles. And David, the youngest one, he just grew. He was just the biggest one. He was always the fat kid, but he was fast because his dad had him doing martial arts since he was young. So as you see him and you look at David Benavidez, you say, okay, he's just a big, slow guy. And then you get in the ring and you see them punches coming, zip, 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 zip. And you're like, whoa, where's this coming from? They thought Jacobs could beat him. Danny Jacobs cannot beat Canelo Alvarez. He does not possess the style to beat Canelo Alvarez. You have to know how to back Canelo up, and you got to do it early. You have to win the respect of Canelo Alvarez by stepping forward to Canelo and putting the pressure to him. If you don't bring the pressure to Canelo, you're going to lose. Canelo was in such great shape tonight and such great condition for the fight. Caleb, the other guy was so beat down. Even the punches that didn't land flush, you could hear them through the speaker. Oof, oof, oof. It was like you knew when Canelo threw what was going to happen. And the other guy was running and pulling back. Caleb couldn't deal with it. He couldn't deal with Canelo Alvarez's approach, the deliveries, nothing. And to be 6'3" and get beat up by a 5'8" guy, that's something. See the stands? Canelo is giving him this look of defense. Like he's up in a defensive mode. Caleb is in an offensive mode, set to jab. Canelo is going to allow him to do it, and he's going to pick it off with his gloves. But what he's doing is inching closer to Caleb in the process. That's why he's taking such a wide base. He's taking a big step because he's got to make up for the size, the height differential, and the reach differential. He wants to get closer. So even by not throwing a punch, he's going to inch closer to Caleb. Even if Caleb jabs, he's going to catch it, but he's going to take such a wide step here with this leg so he can catch up. Because he's coming forward, he's moving backwards, trying to jab and fight at an angle. This did not benefit him. He gave up his height, which you never do as a big man. If you're tall, you fight tall. If you go shrink yourself down to the fighter's level, you're only helping him out. He don't have to swing up at you. If you're going to keep pulling your head down, that's a mistake young fighters make when they are amateurs. And this is what happened with tall fighters when they get in the ring. They make the same mistake. That's what happened to the fighter, Robert Easter Jr., another tall fighter fighting at 135. All he had to do was keep his height. He gives up his height because he shrinks down and gets into a firefight with the guy who's a lesser opponent. And he doesn't help himself. Yep, I'm looking at it now, and it planned out just like it. And as soon as I said, just from the stance, I told you could see what was about to happen. He fires that jab. Look at Canelo. See, still wide stance, but he's not getting hit by the jab. He's standing back. This guy's going backwards, throwing a jab out, using his long reach. But Canelo is going to miss that upper body movement. You don't have to just jump back with your legs. Amateurs think they got to jump. To get away from the punch, they feel they got to jump out of the fire. That's the mistake fighters make right away. Young fighters, when somebody throw a punch, they go and jump out of the way and give up their position. Errol Spence does that a lot. You'll see Errol get in the ring. You know, that's y'all hero. Errol Spence being there, you throw a punch. He way back there. I'm like, Errol, why are you jumping 50 feet back to walk back up? You wasting your time doing all that. Use your upper body movement for defense. Everybody say they love Floyd Mayweather. They want to fight like they want to do the shoulder roll. Do you see Floyd Mayweather jumping way back all the time? No. Sometimes you get back to reset or change the look. But to do it every single time is dumb. You helping the other person out. You could stand right in front of a person, make a move, make a miss, pull back, move using your upper body movement. You could pull straight back, call pull counter. You're in a position to counter punch. How many times you saw Floyd use that pull counter? Bip! You're pulling the jab out of somebody, and then when you got your distance, you could do it. Errol depends on his hard head, that hard Jamaican dome, and his lunch pail offense of coming forward. He's not even on balance 9 times. He's fighting in the southpaw stance. Then he switched to a conventional stance. His feet is never right. This is before the fight. This is why the Sean Porter fight was so hard for him. They picked a fighter that was tailor-made for you. Sean Porter is not a knockout guy. He's not a guy that's going to rack up some knockouts. He's somebody that's going to punch with his arms. Football tackle you all night long until the bell rings. If that ain't tailor-made for Errol Spence, I don't know what is. You're absolutely correct about that. And that's why Errol fought at 154 when he started his career. He got buzzed, and they brought him back down to 147 and said, you need to fight at welterweight. 154 ain't for you. Errol Spence is not the truth. He's the excuse. Man, I would fight Terrence Crawford, man, but Terrence Crawford ain't did nothing yet, man. You know, I mean, Terrence Crawford, man, who that? You know, I mean, really, though, who that? Man, I'm gonna go back to my farm, you know, buy me some horses, and then I'm gonna go in there and date with my family, man. I might fight Canelo, man. Man, look, nobody want to hear all them excuses. Nobody want to hear that excuses from you, Errol. They want to know if you're gonna fight. All your fans behind you and they pumping you up. You the main one over there lying to the people. No, I didn't see that Whack 100 video. If he's your favorite fighter right now, you need to ask yourself why. Aim on. Why? You just fought Danny Garcia and couldn't knock him out. Why? Errol Spence ain't on pay-per-view. The only reason that Errol was on pay-per-view, and Terrence has been on pay-per-view before, so I don't know what you're talking about, but he get paid the same amount of money, if not more. So what you talking about? Terrence has made that money. He probably got more money than Errol. While we talking, you like Errol's on pay-per-view. That's suckering your money. $75? You think that was worth $75? Him fighting Danny Garcia? That was $75. Mike Tyson them fought for $50. And you want to pay $75 to see Errol Spence fight Danny Garcia, a 140-pound fighter? No. Sorry. A guy who was 2-2 in his last fight. Now he's 2-3 in his last 5. And yet, he finished stronger than Errol. Because Errol ain't ready. And Lord and behold, what did Errol Spence say? I'm going to get me a strength and conditioning trainer now. I'm tired of doing it myself. I'm going to go back and get my old strength and conditioning coach, and I'm going to hire me a nutritionist. Because, y'all said he was spectacular. I saw it, and he didn't look spectacular to me. So I guess he didn't look spectacular to him either. The man talking about going to add a strength and conditioning coach and going to get a nutritionist because he know what I know. He was done. He couldn't finish. Danny finished that fight stronger than he did, and Danny Garcia is a guy that gasses out. If that guy fought Terrence Crawford, the guy y'all rooting for with the pom-poms, if you put that Errol Spence in there with Terrence Crawford, he will lose even worse than anything you've ever believed. Might get stopped. Oh, yeah. No StreamYard? Nah, we're going to do one tomorrow. But you can't hit up the Cash App, though. Carcino's the name on the Cash App. Straight up. No, his power has not exceeded 140. As you can see here, Canelo is setting up a body attack. He's got the high guard up, but he's looking at his body. Caleb is not, he's so busy thinking offensively, he's not paying attention to the fact Canelo's looking right at his body. And that's where he's going to go. He comes out of it with a jab. And then he goes low. He comes out of it with a jab and he shoots the right hand low, going to the body. A total Canelo Alvarez combination. But you have to watch his eyes. He's very good. ESPN never edited any footage out. Terrence Crawford got hit with a good punch by Mean Machine, a person that Errol Spence would never fight. His glove touched the canvas. To me, that should have been a knockdown. But they said he slipped on his foot, which could have went either way. I would have gave him the credit for the knockdown. But then after that, what happened? Somebody explain to me what happened to Mean Machine. What happened to Mean Machine? Did Mean Machine go to the cards? Or did Mean Machine go to sleep? That's all I want to know. Did he go to sleep? Or did he go to the cards? Because it seemed to me, Terrence Crawford is stopping everybody. Y'all might call him bums and all this stuff, but he's stopping people that have never been stopped. And he came from 135. Somebody brought some power with them. I ain't going to say no names. I ain't going to say I told you this in 2013, but hey, what do I know? You know, what do I know? Somebody brought some power with them, though. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Now, go put exactly. I gave Caleb probably the first round. It was a fill-out round. I still think it was Canelo's. And then it was probably another round, like the 6th round. It was probably close. Well, I think he stepped on the gas and let him know he was still there. And round 11 was pretty close for a little bit. Like he was letting them know I'm still here. Okay, if he stay getting outboxed, then I mean, Kell Brook could say that. I thought Sean Porter beat Errol, to be honest. There's a lot of swing rounds in there, but I still think even with the knockdown, he lost by one round. I think I had a 115, 113 for Sean. 115, 114 or something like that, or 114, 1. Anyway, I had Sean winning by like a point. But nobody want to talk about that. But you talking about outbox. Like your guy is outboxing everybody. No, he outboxing lightweights. He couldn't stop Mikey Garcia. I'm going to tell you this. If Terrence Crawford fights Mikey Garcia, does Mikey Garcia make it to the cards? I want to know. What do you think? Mikey Garcia fights Terrence Crawford. Does he make it to the cards? He gets knocked out. Exactly. Errol Spence fights Kell Brook, who just got his socket broke. Eye socket broke in the fight with Triple G. Got broken down in that fight, putting him in there with a possible roided up machine who was 20 pounds bigger than him. He had to cut 20 pounds down, coming off a loss, no tune-up fight, goes right in with Errol. His eye socket hasn't even fully healed. That's why in that fight, he broke the other side going up against Errol, which is why the fight was called, as he was starting to even win rounds. So he was weight drained, broken eye socket completely. And then he broke the other side after the fight with Errol. So he's got an iron mask over his face now. his skeleton. But he was better off then than he was in this fight. Okay. He was great then. Now he's washed. Okay. I just want to understand your logic. So you telling me he was AG, he was all good when he fought Errol, coming off a loss with a broken eye socket, having to cut 20 pounds. That was the best Kell Brook we was gonna get. But now he's washed after he done won 3 fights in a row. No eye problems, in the best shape of his life, Didn't have to cut any weight to make it. Thank you very much for your boxing knowledge. I now know what I'm dealing with. Fanboys. You guys are who they make the commercials for. All the promotions. You the reason why. God, this guy. He was doing this so much it irritated me. Quit giving up your damn height. Fight at your height. I'm getting mad in the fight over. He doing it again. He just kneeled all the way down. Canelo is 5'8". You 6'3". He kneeled almost down to his size to try to throw a punch. All you doing is giving Canelo range to knock your head off. Stay tall, young man. Stay tall. Gosh. That right there irritates me. Gosh, that's irritating to look at. Look at that. That don't make any sense. None at all. Me versus Logan Paul. Logan Paul would be knocked in the next week. It'd be like Elmer Fudd. That's all, folks. I would fly that boy's head off his shoulders. So if y'all new here, don't forget to hit that like button and definitely subscribe to the page. Hit that notification bell. My cash app is Carceno. Carceno. Thanks, Dwayne. Dwayne Brock. Look at him. D1 and the only DB. All right, DB, I'll see you. Shouts out to Harry for always showing support to my page. And follow Harry at Welcome to HD TV. Oh, that's Bear requesting his money. Yep. That's what's up. PBC failed. Of course they failed. They failed because they did not plan on doing something that they didn't plan on doing something that they should have done from the offset. What they should have did was plan themselves to make a mega fight. You got all these fighters, they need to fight each other. They're trying to build fighters up into these overblown, the Keith Thurmans. They've been building him up. Sean Porter, they kept Sean Porter fighting light heavyweights. They kept him fighting 140s. If you were a light welterweight, they let Sean Porter beat him up. They're doing the same thing with Errol. Errol's fighting Chris Algieri, Mikey Garcia, Danny Garcia. Who are we going to fight next? Tank? Gervonta Davis versus Errol Spence. It's going to be like, come on, man. Sean Porter was the only guy he fought his size. People need to stop playing games here. But yet, y'all have believed this hype train. He fought a guy on... He fought a guy that was in... Well, as soon as I find the cord, I'll be all right. He fought a guy that he had no business fighting. None whatsoever. In Cowboy Stadium, big mega fight. Cowboy Stadium debut. Can somebody tell me the name of even I've never seen that guy a day in my life. Where did they dig him up from? And you want to talk about Terrence Crawford? Where did they dig this guy from? I never saw that guy a day in my life. Canelo won decisively. It was a slaughter. You know how you just beat a piece of meat? This guy was a piece of meat in the movie Rocky. This is what Andrade was talking about. Like, he's not going to do. He's like, I'm not going to lean on the ropes and not punch. This guy went on the ropes like an idiot and let Canelo just tee off on him. I'm like, are you crazy? If you keep giving Canelo that, this night will be over for you. You never go on the ropes with Canelo. It was a lot of that. All those punches had NyQuil written all over it. It's about Canelo being a special fighter and a different type of fighter. And they say, well, he doesn't fight traditional Mexican style, which is true. He does not fight a traditional Mexican style fight where he's going to have the fight at a night face, bleeding from over. He fights a more up-to-date modern style of boxing. Mixed in with that, he can fight that style too, but he fights strategically smart. He gets you out of position and he attacks. He's not a dumb fighter. A lot of it he got from Floyd. You know, he got a first-hand education on what the next level looked like. And when one judge tried to get a fight to Canelo or call it a draw, like one fight, one judge had it a draw. Even Canelo's people was like, nah, come on, man, that wasn't a draw. Now, the fight against Erislandy Lara, I felt Canelo came up short. I felt Lara won enough rounds to get the victory. And I felt his team knew that they didn't get the victory. And they got bailed out with a decision, a split decision victory. But the rounds he won, he surprised me in. He wasn't ready for the Lara fight. Well, you fight the way you're trained to fight. He's trained to fight in that style. So if you train to fight in that style, you pretty much that's what he does. He allows his opponents to come in. Fighting a European style, most of them are not body punchers. They normally come ahead and they look for head shots. And you can counter off their aggression. And that's where he made his bread and butter. Falling back on the ropes and catching guys with that left hook of his. Quick left hook could buzz a couple of guys and he could start his combinations. And then they're right there for those punches. Canelo could be right there, but he knows how to defend. He knows how to attack the body. He knows how to go up top. And hats off to Caleb Smith. He fights a different style, but Canelo figured him out. All his ticks, everything that he does, Canelo figured this guy out in two rounds. Like he said, it wasn't my hardest fight, but I'm ready. Floyd was Jordan. He said these are the new LeBrons. Yeah, I see it. But see, here's the difference from when Floyd was fighting to now. I was going to say, Brock sent me another one. Here's the difference from now and then and all of those different times. When Floyd fought, he fought a combination of different fighters, like different styles. He was in the Olympic trials. He fought a Cuban fighter before. He fought a guy who fights from Colombia. He's fought a guy who was southpaw. He fought a guy that was, all these different styles. He fought as amateur coming up before he even turned pro. So when he turned pro, there was nothing a pro fighter had that he hadn't seen when he was an amateur. See, Floyd was fighting open tournaments when he was 16 years old, and he dominated everybody in the open tournaments at 16. An open tournament means there's all ages. He was 16 years old, and he fought guys that was 21. It was embarrassing him. In Little Rock, Arkansas, he went there and wiped out everybody and won the whole tournament at 16. And they told him he was too young to go into the Olympic field that they had. They was like, well, try out again. You can't go for the games. You're too young. You're 16. We can't have this kid just came out of nowhere and just wiped everybody out. So he came back and did it again. Wiped out everybody. I mean, Canelo barely looked like he was in a fight tonight. Look at him. This is him getting ready for the 12th round. Dude, I swear, Canelo is like rocks. The, the fact that he went in there, I mean, he's like rocks. And the other guy, let's just say he don't look like that. He's folded up. He's in the corner folded. He's all folded up. He's beat down. He's folded up. He can't even stand. Hey, thanks for the cash app. Jaime. Jaime, am I saying that right? Jaime? Charlo, they ain't knocking out the people they fighting now. Nobody takes a Charlo seriously. Wilder trying to go to court to stop the fight between Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. Man, Joe Calzaghe look like a true heavyweight right now. Sitting down there with Gary's David Davies. I'm like, man. Joe Calzaghe is every bit of like 300 pounds. Joe retired undefeated. Rest in peace to his pops, Enzo, who trained him, who was a musician and trained his son to be undefeated world champion. What was he, like 46-0 when he retired?
Off the charts. He is just a different class of fighter.
Oh,
Yeah, he looked great.
that Kate Alvarado, man.
Started throwing shots to the body and showed and got his respect. And man, he really outclassed me today.
There's so much to talk about Canelo and how masterful that was, but I also want to ask you about Callum Smith because you were just up close and personal with him. He's obviously struggling with the arm. What could you see? What could you tell?
Yeah, Callum didn't want to make an excuse in that moment. I give him credit for it, but you could see the redness on that arm. And Eddie Hearn told me after I did the interview that he believes Callum detached his bicep at some point during the fight. Now, Eddie made it clear it probably didn't matter. Canelo Alvarez won this fight going away. He was masterful in this performance, but something tells me the next couple of days you'll hear about Callum Smith being on the shelf for a little while.
Mm-hmm. I mean, one of the questions that we heard Chris ask Canelo in the ring after the fight was the fact that he's been unified champion at 160, he's now unified champion at 168. You asked him where that ranks. Where does it rank for you, this achievement tonight?
I mean, listen, he's doing things. 4-time world champion. I mean, he's a pound for pound guy. There's no better way and better title to put it at. You know,
is he the guy at pound for pound now?
He's they already established that. I'm not going to say he is like the pound for pound guy yet because he hasn't fought all the top guys yet, like myself. Caleb Playton's out there. I'm always going to play like, let's go Canelo. I'm not going to sit there and go to the ropes and not throw punches. I'm going to fight Canelo all day. You know what I'm saying? It's a different fight, but he needs to get in there with the rest of the super middleweight division.
Okay, respectfully, yes, I'd like to see him fight you, no question. But he is unquestionably the #1 pound-for-pound guy in boxing right now. He has the best resume of anybody in boxing right now.
They did a great job with him.
Who did?
Golden Boy promotion.
Are you kidding me?
They did a great job with moving Canelo. Yes,
moving him implies, Demetrius, that you're just being given gimme fights. Erislandy Lara was not a gimme fight.
No,
Canelo twice was not a gimme fight.
I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying. But he has had a lot of gimme fights too, though. But of course, you got to fight somebody sooner or later, and he's fighting these guys at the right time.
To be fair,
he's fighting.
Laura has what is Laura?
Erislandy Lara at that point was arguably the best guy at 154, right at the top. He's on promotional cup. You say Golden Boy moved him. None of those guys want him to fight Erislandy Lara. They wanted nothing to do with that. He moves up. Yes, then he cherry-picked a belt at 175, fighting a past his prime Sergey Kovalev. But Golovkin was a monster at that time when he beat them.
All credit to Canelo for fighting Triple G. I'm not sitting saying that, none of that. Like I just said, you have to fight somebody eventually, and he did that. And yes, he is the pound-for-pound guy. But there's other guys out there, too, that has great talent that's not going to sit there and just, like, go on the ropes all night. No, there's not guys doing that.
To be fair, what Demetrius is saying, it's so close at the top. The guys that we're talking about who are in the mix of pound for pound, it's interchangeable, fight per fight basis.
Do you think, though? I don't think it's interchangeable at all. Lomachenko lost. He was the guy that I thought maybe he was interchangeable with. All respect to Terence Crawford, he doesn't have anywhere close to the resume that Canelo Alvarez has. This guy is the best, and there's a gap. There's a real gap between him and #2.
Yes, Canelo has fought good fighters. His resume as well. We all know that. We're not sitting here knocking it. We're just saying there's other guys out there.
You just did not.
No, I know. I'm just saying there's some that he fought real guys at their prime, and he fought guys. Ricochet Mosley.
He was like 20.
Miguel Cotto.
Cotto was a champion.
Okay, but how old was these guys? And they was on their way up. Come on, man, stop.
I can't believe I'm arguing with Demetrius Andrew. I love Demetrius Andrew.
I love you
I'm like
too.
this guy's biggest supporter, and I'm arguing with him right now.
I mean, the thing that always stands out about Canelo is the fact that we've heard
Rocky Fielding.
Oscar De La Hoya in the past, right? That Canelo always fought the guys that Oscar told him not to fight. He went and fought Larry. He went.
Ricky Hatton's younger brother, or something like that.
You are talking about fighters that he fought well before he was a world champion. When he became a world champion, yes, he had some gimmies. He takes on an Amir Khan.
Trout, he's a good fighter, but he is not the best.
He was one of the best at 154.
I'm one of the best at 154, so why didn't I ever get the Canelo fight?
You're kind of light heavyweight now. I don't know what's going on with this over here.
All right.
I look good, but damn. All I'm saying is, Canelo is the man. He's doing a great job. It's other people's time to make it happen.
That we can all sign up to.
All right, man. I swear. Who was Andrade fighting at 20? Was he fighting at 20? Because I haven't seen him fighting. Boo Boo doing a lot of talking, man. That's what I'm saying. This new internet era. Everybody talking. Nobody fighting. No, he's not blacklisted forever. He screwed up. You know, he signed a lot of bad contracts. He pulled out of the fight with Jermell Charlo on that card because he wasn't signed with Al Heyman. They tried to sign him. He ended up signing with Rock Nation and Jay-Z. That company folded. And they were like, we're out of the boxing business. So he didn't get that fight. He messed up a lot of fights. And now the zone come around, and now, you know, they just don't know what to do with this guy. Like he just said, I don't know what's going on with you right now. So they've been building him up. My thing is, when is he keep calling out Canelo. He got to fight some of the other people in his division to make people want to call you out. Nobody really know who you are. You just spoken about all the time, but we don't know you from beating anybody. Like I said, the biggest victory he got is against Vanes Monster Rosen. Now, like I said, I spoke to Bob Arum. You guys heard the interview. He said that they're actually doing the fight. Oh, he said that is Tone. Oh, much love, bro. Yeah, I just didn't know who the Jaime name was. Or Hammy. Man, it's messed up out there, man. I miss going out there to knockouts to watch the games and stuff. Now everything's kind of closed down. You can't go into anything.
In his camp had talked about coming into this fight this wasn't going to be the traditional Canelo
I love
fight.
her British accent. Oh God.
Canelo fight. The fans in here were incredible tonight. I've been at another fight. I've been at the Errol Spence and Danny Garcia fight, but this one was loud.
It was a great atmosphere for the 13,000 fans that were in attendance tonight. They were loud. They made it feel like you were at a real Canelo fight. It's not like a packed house in Las Vegas or New York, but for what we're at, for the 13.
Yeah, that's that Kate. Man, that Kate a dude, man. She's something else. Look how she was decked out. Looking like Beyonce up there. All the single ladies, all the single ladies, keep your hands up in the club. In them Darion jeans. Yeah, she nice. Yeah, listening to her talk.
15,000 fans.
She don't be knowing what she talking about with boxing,
loud.
but
They made it feel
they ain't got her sitting there because of
it's not like
her knowledge of boxing
in Las Vegas or New York. But for what we're at right now in a pandemic, it was as good as you can possibly get. And I think if you're Canelo, you've got to be happy with being able to do something like this.
Well, it has been fantastic to have both of your company this evening. Hopefully,
Billy Joe, sign that contract, boy. So I can whoop that ass now.
Uh-oh.
At him on Twitter, I'm sure you will do. I appreciate.
Billy Joe, there you go.
At home as well, even more. It's been a great night of boxing. We do hope you enjoyed it. It was a really good one. We got loads more coming here on DAZN, of course, as well. DAZN making a stellar end to 2020, but it's a cracking start coming up to 2021 too. The next fight is this.
I've never seen a more arrogant fighter than Ryan Garcia. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait till this kid gets knocked out. I mean, I swear to you, I've never heard a more arrogant fighter in my life. I mean, he's delusional. That's the thing about Ryan. He's delusional. Yeah, that's a good fight. Yep. Right. We need real stars of the game. I agree with that. But yeah, man, it's been over 2 hours, man. I got to shut this down. It's been a good, man, but I need to get some rest. Love, peace, and hair grease. Thanks for hanging out with me.